Hello, everyone. This is a short presentation on how the library can be used as a classroom. I'm going to highlight my own work at the 2024 Los Angeles Libros Festival, which took place this past September at Los Angeles Public Library's Central Library in downtown LA. But first, let's look at the elements of the creative classroom research model as it appeared in the 2014 Horizon Report, which is an annual report that looks at what's on the horizon in higher education. Michael Stevens argues that if we want the library to be a classroom, we should be tapping into this creative classroom model with the attitude that we're going to come together in the library and we're going to explore. We're going to play. We're going to create. We're going to be together, learning from each other and making that thing together. In other words, peer-to-peer collaboration. My contribution to this year's Libros Festival was to lead meaningful activities that employed these innovative teaching and learning practices. I led two activities in the library turned classroom on the day of the Libros Festival, September 28th, 2024. First, I read a book about Selena Quintanilla during the morning story time. And in the afternoon, I led a bilingual camera obscura workshop, which I had designed, pitched, planned, and prepared. I think both of these were meaningful activities. Let's start with the story time. For story time, I read a book called Canta Conmigo, Sing With Me, by Diana Lopez and Teresa Martinez. I scanned the book and put it into a Google Slides presentation so that I could read it off a giant smart screen. In addition to having the physical book available, in the photo on the left, you can see an illustration from the book on the smart screen depicting Selena at the Houston Astrodome in February 1995, which ended up being her final televised concert before she died tragically in March of the same year. On the right is the final slide of my Storytime presentation, which shows the cover of the book and a link to the YouTube performance of Bidi Bidi Bom Bom live from the Astrodome. In both images, you can see Selena is wearing the famous purple jumpsuit that she herself designed. After we finished reading the story, we watched the music video and sang along. During this story time, I spoke with the children about some of the book's themes: Selena's triumph over sexism in the Tejano music scene, her determination to learn Spanish as a second language, her fashion entrepreneurship, and the power of onomatopoetic language, Bidi Bidi Bom Bom, to convey meaning. With this lesson, I encouraged the children to read, play music, learn languages, and use YouTube as a reference tool. This was a meaningful story, which I presented in a way that engaged multiple modes of thinking, first reading a book and then singing along with a music video. As the book says, singing together turns strangers into friends. That's a powerful message, and it's true, and it can happen in the library during story time. Turning now to the afternoon camera obscura workshop, I'd like to highlight how the workshop turned the library into a laboratory for exploration. On the left, you can see the title slide of the introductory presentation I gave, along with an image of me explaining the phenomenon of the camera to the workshop participants. And on the right are two images of people who have just finished assembling their cameras. In one of the images, you can see me giving a demonstration of how the inner box fits into the outer box and focuses the image by moving back and forth. This is learning by creating, collaborating, exploring, and playing. Participants are creating an actual camera, and then they are playing and exploring with it. They're thinking in both physical terms, which is to say the physics of the optical phenomenon, as well as in visual terms and what it means to have our three-dimensional world projected onto a two-dimensional surface. Because the workshop was conducted in both English and Spanish, they are also thinking in two languages, which is one of the main missions of the festival, to promote reading, dreaming, and celebrating in dos idiomas. This slide shows the book list I curated to pique interest in the workshop, which was set up during the day in one of the main walkways of the library. It also shows me posing playfully for a picture, which of course is ephemeral since our cameras don't actually record the images. I think the book list really showed different possible modes of thinking about the topic and the different literacies that the camera obscura engages. Finally, I want to showcase a very gratifying piece of feedback I received a little over a month after the workshop concluded. Workshop participants could keep their cameras, of course, so that playing and exploring with them could continue beyond the time of the workshop and beyond the walls of the library. My wife works at the Library Foundation of Los Angeles, which is the body that raises money for the Los Angeles Public Library. A coworker of hers came to the workshop with her son, and just this last week texted my wife that her son had really enjoyed the workshop, keeps his camera by his bed, and continues to use it. Well, this warms my heart, and it makes the enormous effort of putting on the workshop worth it. I'll conclude my presentation with a video snippet of the camera in action. Thanks very much for watching.